Welcome back to Streamline Entertainment. It's Marvin speaking. Just an update on the Anna Kepner case. And basically, she died on a Carnival cruise ship in November 2025. She was 18 years old, a high school senior from Titusville in Florida. Her death was ruled a homicide by mechanical asphyxiation, and a 16-year-old stepbrother is primary suspect into the ongoing FBI investigations. It seemed like to me, what I've read, that he was absolutely infatuated with her. Victim Anna Marie Kepner, an 18-year-old cheerleader with plans to join the US Navy after graduation. It's for those who were new to this case and hadn't seen my other videos on this. The death occurred aboard the Carnival Horizon while the ship was in international waters during a family vacation. Anna's body was found by a cabin steward on November 7th, 2025. Hidden under a bed, wrapped in a blanket and covered with life vests. So that says to me at the end of the day, because like I said, that wasn't in there before a couple of weeks ago. I read it in the newspaper, but like I said, it wasn't put out there like that. Do you know what I mean? Cause of death certificate and sources close to the investigation indicate she died from mechanical asphyxiation, possibly from a bar hold and arm across the neck. The FBI leading the homicide investigations because the death occurred in international waters. So at the moment, the suspect in investigations is focused on Anna's 16-year-old stepbrother who was sharing a cabin with her and another sibling. What the hell were they sharing a basic cabin with her if he fancied her? Do you know what I mean? Her parent who was on there shouldn't have allowed that. Court documents related to an unrelated child custody case involving the stepmother and her ex-husband have confirmed that the teenager is a suspect. The stepbrother has not been publicly charged or arrested, but a judge has officially named him as a suspect in court. Proceeding, he was sent to... Why hasn't he been arrested yet? It's just absolutely unbelievable. I know he's 16, but I'm not being funny. If this be Joe Bloggs, he would have been pulled in straight away. He was sent to live with other relatives while the investigation continues. I wonder why. The FBI has released minimum official information citing the policy on active and ongoing investigations of family, particularly Anna's biological mother has spoken publicly about the case and their search for answers. Very, very strange case that obviously the 16-year-old who's the main suspect hasn't been arrested in this case. Odd to me. Let's look at and see what some of the sleuths are saying on this. Welcome back to part 2, people. M. Shelley has a few things to say about this case. And the title the title got me the most. This case feels so eerie. Yeah, it does feel really strange. Let's get straight into this.
Earlier this month, she went on vacation on a Carnival Horizon cruise ship with her family, but it was a trip that she never came back from. Anna was expected to graduate this year, and she had plans to join the US Navy. In her obituary, her family wrote, quote, "How could we possibly capture every bit of beauty that was Anna Marie Kepner, our Anna Banana, our sunshine, our baby girl? At just 18 years old, she filled the world with laughter, love, and a light that reached everyone around her," end quote. The cruise was a 7-day trip that left from Miami. Massive ship, obviously. It carried almost 4,000 people. On board was Anna, her father, her stepmother, her biological brother, and her step-siblings, who were the stepmother's children from a previous relationship. Her grandparents were also on the ship. And according to them, it was supposed to be a big, happy trip with all of them. The grandparents said the family dynamic was pretty close. As far as the kids, they said there were no step-siblings. They were all just considered to be one big, happy family. Between the kids, Anna's father, and stepmother, they had 3 rooms booked. Anna, her 14-year-old brother, and her 16-year-old stepbrother were all staying in one room. The last night that she was seen by her family on November 6th, Anna had been complaining that she was feeling pain from her braces, so she went back to her room. Later on, she felt better. She met back up with some family members before they all went to their own rooms for the night. The last thing that she said to her grandma was, "I love you guys, I'll see you later," but they never saw her again after that. Anna disappeared on board, and then she was found deceased in her room, hidden underneath a bed, wrapped up in a blanket, and covered up by life jackets. The boat returned to Miami, and Anna's body was removed in a body bag. From what I could find, it sounds like the last night that Anna was seen, she had gone back to her room, and later that night, her brother and her stepbrother returned to the room as well. Her brother changed clothing, left the room again, leaving Anna alone in that room with her stepbrother. When the brother returned, biological brother, he noticed that Anna was not in the room, but he assumed that she was out doing whatever and assumed that she would come back at some point. There's a possibility that Anna was already gone and already hidden underneath the bed when her brother came back to the room and went to sleep. It sounds like there was one queen bed and a set of bunk beds in the room. Allegedly, there's also CCTV footage showing Anna entering her room for the last time, but she's never seen leaving again. And since then, her biological brother has come out and said that when it was only Anna and her stepbrother in that room, he had gone back to the room, but allegedly the door was locked. And shortly after that, he said that he heard the stepbrother yelling something along the lines of "shut up" and what sounded like chairs being thrown across the room. When her family realized that she was missing, when she did not show up to breakfast with all of them the next morning, her father began looking for her when it was announced over the loudspeaker that there was a medical emergency in Anna's room number. It was a cleaning crew that found her body hidden underneath that bed at around 11 a.m. The cause of death was listed at...
Obviously, that has been confirmed now. That is really, really bizarre. Surely, would want to arrest someone or drag the stepbrother in and question him. Why have they waited for so long? This is really, really strange, this case. Really strange. This is why I left her a while, because I just wanted to see what new information had come in. But it doesn't seem this case has moved on as much as I thought it would.
Asphyxia caused by an arm on the neck. Anna also reportedly had bruising on her neck. Now, the thing about this happening on a cruise ship is that, one, there are no police on a cruise ship. They have security, but there's no law that requires them to have actual police officers on the cruise ship. And when something happens on board, because it's on international waters, it immediately goes to the FBI. Of course, though, an investigation cannot be started until the ship comes back to port. And I'm not saying that this is the case in Anna's case, but a lot of the times, it's literally only staff members from the cruise line until the FBI can get there. Staff members from the cruise line are trying to protect the cruise line, so evidence gets a little bit iffy, and oftentimes things can get delayed until the ship does go back to the port and until the FBI can officially begin their investigation. But that's what happened when the FBI got involved when they returned back to Miami. And very quickly, we realized that the person that they were paying close attention to was Anna's 16-year-old stepbrother. So we know from Anna's biological brother that he heard yelling coming from the room and what sounded like a struggle. Since then, it's also come out that apparently Anna was really scared and uncomfortable around her stepbrother. Anna's ex-boyfriend said,
well, look, we've heard a lot of that he was possibly infatuated with her. And this could cause a lot of different emotions. This was a growing lad. Did he kill her? I don't know. I can't question that. Is he a suspect? Yes.
That he witnessed strange behavior from the stepbrother towards Anna, saying that he was obsessed with her. He said that one of the strange...
There you go. A lot of people have been saying that. Obsession.
...interactions was when he was on FaceTime with Anna when her stepbrother walked in at 3 a.m, walked into her bedroom and got on top of Anna. Anna's grandma has also described the stepbrother by saying that he, quote, has demons from his past that he has allegedly been trying to deal with. And follow...
Well, he's not going to deal with them by getting on top of her, is he? That's just... It seems like he needed... some therapy there, so urgently.
Following Anna's death, the stepbrother was an absolute wreck and what the grandma described to be an emotional mess. Apparently, after everything came out, when Anna's death was finally being looked at as a homicide, the stepbrother had to be hospitalized and sent to a psychiatric hospital, and since then, he has received psychiatric treatment there. He is now being...
Well, why now? Why now all of a sudden? Because, like I said, surely... Anna's mum would have said, look, at the end of the day, there's something not quite right here. We got to deal with it. And they never dealt with it. And it's ended up in a death.
Looked at as a suspect. He has not been criminally charged. So he's out right now staying with a third party. The grandma has said that even though the stepbrother has clear issues, the relationship he had with Anna was very close. And she said they had a true brother-sister relationship. Some people question that. However, you guys, we do not know these people. We are not a part of the family. We don't even really know what's going on in the investigation. So I know it's easy easy to speculate and get those sort of conversations started, but keep in mind that this is a real family. They are mourning a real person who is no longer here, and it's important that we don't believe everything that we see on the internet. The Kepner family has asked for respect throughout this time and for everyone to remember Anna with laughter, color, sunshine, and love, because that is exactly how she lived her life. Quote, she danced in the light she left behind and it will never fade, end quote. That is all I have for today's video. I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on this investigation to see how everything plays out. But yeah, hope you guys are having the best day. If not, go do something to make it the best day and make somebody happy, and I will see you in my next video.
That was Shelley, very good, and I liked her approach on the case as well. I can't imagine how the brother feels. I wouldn't feel sorry for him just yet, especially if he's killed someone. Poor kid is 13. I've seen some, the other brother, I'd imagine, him saying that he should have known something was wrong, that sometimes kids have a more positive mindset and their minds don't always go there. Yeah, no, because why would a kid know what is killing someone sounds like? And it will probably haunt them forever. I have a feeling it might have been the stepbrother. It was the stepbrother, I'm telling you. We don't know that at the end of the day, but like I said, there's a high possibility it could be. But like I said, we've got to let the police, FBI deal with that. How are these posts of her on the cruise in May, and the last TikTok she posted was October 30th? I'm so confused. Interesting. She was on a cruise with her grandparents in May. This one was November. Oh, okay. Okay. Remind me later, I'm going shopping. The stepbrother is hiding in the psych ward on purpose. We'll have to see what's going to happen when obviously the police do talk to him. But it's quite bizarre. It's gone on for this long. And she died in November. Welcome back to the final part, people. And this is the live courts TV on obviously all the latest updates. And like I said, asphyxiation was mentioned via a bar hold that technically basically did kill this young woman, Anna Kepner.
Chilling new details in the death of an 18-year-old girl found dead on a Carnival cruise ship. ABC News is reporting that Anna Kepner's cause of death is asphyxiation resulting from a bar hold, but an arm is placed across the neck. We're also hearing that investigators found 2 bruises on the side of her neck, but no signs of sex assault or drugs or alcohol in her system. Kepner's body was reportedly found underneath a bed, possibly covered up in blankets and life jackets at the time she was discovered. Her 16-year-old stepbrother is considered a suspect, but has not been charged. An ex-boyfriend says that Anna's stepbrother was obsessed with her.
Whenever I was on FaceTime with her and I was on FaceTime with her and she was laying down and the brother started on top of her.
Now, law enforcement is currently reviewing surveillance footage from that cruise ship and analyzing the electronic key card data to try to see who was accessing the cabin and coming and going at what times. Let's talk about what's going to tip the scales the most in this investigation, especially...
I know it's been investigated, but why hasn't there been any arrests? I don't get it.
With the newly revealed information reported by ABC regarding the cause of death. Mary, let me ask you this cause of death. Your thoughts on the asphyxiation and how a medical examiner could know the manner in which a hold may have been placed on her.
So typically what the medical examiner will do is examine, the whole entire body. And if they found bruises on the neck, they would look for signs of compression. And if they find the signs of compression and the lack of oxygen in the lungs, then they would determine that it was an asphyxiation. Tough word to say this morning.
But how she was found was alarming. Wrapped up in something like someone tried to hide her and didn't want it to be found because they wanted to be off the ship. It just doesn't. It's just really, really strange. Really strange. And like I said, the case it's just eerie. It is eerie because, like I said, we just haven't had an arrest or conviction yet. And I thought we should have done a lot earlier, to be honest with you. I know the police have got to do their work and investigations in how she probably died, but still, that 16-year-old boy should have been talked to by the police.
And they would, go forward with that. Now they have to prove who choked her. And like Tommy just said, you don't typically see this on a cruise ship, but this investigation will be done a lot differently than an investigation that's done out not on a cruise ship. I mean, you don't have easy pass records. You're not going to have cell site information. The only thing you're really going to have is any witnesses, or as you just said, key card, who went in the room, who went out of the room, and also there's surveillance all over cruise ships, especially in the hallway. So if there's surveillance of him going in the room and nobody else going in the room, and then him leaving the room, I think you're going to have some charges pushed upon him.
There you go. It just seems like to me it's a matter of time. I'm just surprised that they're taking their time. I know they've got to make sure they get all their facts right before coming out to the news and saying, look, we're charging this, basically the stepbrother with murder. And like I said, we've just got to wait and see what happens, people. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe to Streamline Entertainment. And let's hope that we get an end to this case and someone charged for it. Because, we've got another young woman, Anna Kepner, who had her whole life ahead of her. And that's been taken away by her, it seems, like a jealous stepbrother. Thank you.